me, myself, and I, because at the end of the day, it was only me, myself, and I that was going through what I was going through while I was going through it. People said they was praying for me as they were walking away from me. And I knew you wasn't praying for me because you never grabbed my hand. You understand it here? And so because you never grabbed my hand, I realized you never touched or agreed with me, which means you didn't believe I was going to make it. You only went through the formalities that church people go through. When I needed a real believer that could say, don't worry about your faith. I got enough faith to cover the lack of yours and mine at the same time. We got to come to a point, Evangelist Rice, where our faith has the ability to produce a miracle in someone else's life. I need Bible for that. I'll give you Bible for that. There was a man that was brought to church, and the Bible said that out of all times, Jesus was preaching the word of the Lord. The Bible said that there was no room in the house because he who was a teacher, the rabbi, is now in revival meeting. Come on here. And every once in a while, even Jesus got out of character. Y'all will catch you on the way home. The Bible said in the midst of the hoop, Sister Archer, there came a breaking in the ceiling, and the ceiling came tumbling down. And when he looked up, there was a man laying in a bed being lowered down into the revival meeting. Can I tell you something? Don't laugh at me for how I got here, but just know that my infirmity made room for me to be brought to the front while y'all were crowded in the back. Y'all will catch you on the way home. But God sent me 4 friends that believe that although they carried me there, I'm walking out of there. Y'all not saying nothing here. And on my way down, God raised me up, and now I'm back on my feet again. Says we in crunch time. Somebody say crunch time. Now is not the time to stop coming to church. I know I done lost the whole church. Now is not the time to stop coming to church, because you know what? You'll be charged up for church Saturday night and wake up Sunday morning feeling sorry for yourself. And the next thing you know, Joshua, well, they won't miss me. They never miss me. You know, you start talking crazy to yourself. I come and they don't even know I'm there. And next thing you know, you in bed in a defeated place. And your victory is at church. Y'all can say anything here. Because God sent someone in with power to grab your hand. And you so busy having your hands in the bed feeling sorry for yourself. And if the power in the hand of your miracle at the church, the devil is a liar. I came to give it power. Bible says that the writer says in crunch time, the first thing you don't need to do, or the first thing you need to do, is never abandon your confidence. The confidence that he's talking about is actually illustrated and written in Psalms 27. Though the wicked come upon me to eat of my flesh, my heart shall not fear. The war should rise up against me. God, I thank you. In this will I be confident. There were 3 waves of attack that did not work, but nevertheless, in the midst of the attack, I've got confidence in God. And you got to understand, woman of God, that no matter what you're fighting against, no matter what you find yourself in, you ought to be confident to know that God is not going to let me go out like this. Is there anybody here that understands that you mean too much to God for you to go out crying? You mean too much to God for you to go out in a winter depression? You mean too much to God for you to go out defeated? For God will give you victory in the midst of your defeat. Anybody believe that nay in all of these things I'm more than a conqueror? The next thing he says is that our season of hardship. Let me see those who are in the season of hardship. Come on in, don't be shy. Our season of hardship has recompense of reward. And recompense means God is going to pay you for everything you've been through. Good God from everywhere. Let me give you an analogy. What God is saying is that I've got an insurance policy on your life. And everything that was damaged or broken when you collided with the devil, God, there's a check in the mail. God, I thank you. God, that has enough money to replace. Oh, God, everything that you lost. Let me have about 8 of you. Sandy was the best thing that happened to a lot of people. because it enabled me to get help that I wouldn't ordinarily be able to get the help. Oh God. God, do you understand that there was some people when Sandy, oh God, took the roof off their house, they was excited because my roof was already leaking and I didn't have the money to pay for it. But when the roof got ripped off, now the insurance company said I'm gonna put a new roof on for free. Y'all not with me here. Some of y'all got full coverage on that hoopty. All right, I'm coming out of that. And when that man ran that stop sign, that was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because not only are you going to get money for how you were hurting, you're about to get a brand new car for the one that you lost. You're going to learn how to get excited about recompense. Which means, let me read the fine writing.
You better get your brand new car.
Let me read the fine writing in the recompense policy. Y'all ready for me?
Yes.
They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. God, I thank you. Which means it hurt me to give, but I gave it. And when my return comes, what a day of rejoicing that's going to be. Because you got to understand, God will never give me exactly what I gave, but he said it's coming back, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, your blessing is under pressure. Do I got anybody here who believes you about to get a Pepsi Cola blessing? It's in a can and the devil is shaking it up. But when you open it, before you drink it, you're going to wear it. Y'all will catch on the way home. And when I step in here, you'll know I've been blessed because you're going to see it all over me. I'm trying to encourage you tonight. So, he said, you got to have confidence that God is going to pay you for everything you've been through. I want you to begin just to think about all you've been through. Not in the last year, in the last 30 days. And think about how big that check is going to be. I wish I had a screamer right there. We've got to learn how to get excited about what God is getting ready to do instead of crying over what the devil has done. Because can I tell you something the devil don't want you to know? It was the Lord that allowed him to do it. Yeah. And if God allowed him to do it, there had to be a plan and a purpose in mind. Come on here. God, can I tell you something? Where are the Jobs in the house that can say God allowed the devil to take everything that at the end I could get double? And the reality of it is, I didn't even know what I was getting in the end, but on my way through, I said, though he slay me, yet will I. Oh, God. For the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. But blessed be, oh, God. For all the days of my appointed time will I wait for my change to come. And so it is just about there. He said, now you've got to be patient. You got to be patient. For this is not a microwave blessing. But this is something that has to be properly prepared. Who are the cooks that I have in the house? Let me see your hands tonight. Then y'all know about marinating meat. Which means I'm not seasoning it the same day I cook it.
That's right.
Oh, that I see. But I will season it and then put it in the refrigerator. Y'all can let your country with some of y'all and let it sit for a little while. And let the season run all through it. Lord have mercy that when you when you get ready to cook it, it's good all the way down to the bone. Come on here. I know y'all are used to those blessings that only taste good at the skin, and when you get to the meat, it's bland. Y'all not saying nothing here. But when you let it marinate, the people are asking, how did you get it seasoned like this? I let it sit and rest a little while. I seasoned this on Friday. Y'all not saying nothing here. And then with the old school church, they used to put the chicken on low flame Sunday morning. And went to church and let it cook slow. That by the time I got home, the house wasn't burned down, but the meat was falling, y'all understand here, off the bone. Y'all not with me here tonight. And so you got to understand, how do you get excited about food, but then discouraged about waiting on your promise? We shaking and shivering over turkey wings and chicken legs and don't realize the same way you prepared your Thanksgiving dinner, God's preparing your blessing. If you want it and you want it to be good, you got to wait on the Lord and be of good courage.
From everywhere.
We got to understand that sometimes, Sister Archer, in preparing it, I realize I don't have everything that I need. Because now I'm getting in trouble through here. Some of y'all season with Sasson. Come on here then. Some of you let the doctor bind you, so you season with accent, which brings out the natural flavor in the food. But I'm looking for those Lowry seasoners. Come on here. Which said adobo just won't do. Y'all gonna catch that on the way home. So while I was shaking, I ran out of seasoning. So now I gotta stop and go and re-up. Can I tell you something? While God was preparing it for you, he realized he didn't have all the ingredients that he needed, so he had to stop to make sure it was right. Just because it's brown don't mean it's gonna taste good. And when people come over your house for your cooking, they're expecting a certain flavor. And when you change up seasoning, they can tell based on how the food tastes. You're not saying that here. I can tell when you use lemon abstract and when you use vanilla abstract. They'll catch that on the way home. And so that'll make you say, did you do something different this time? Which means you let me down. I came for one thing, but you giving me something else. Don't give me what's convenient. Give me what's been prepared for me.
Good.
So he's preparing something for us. I got to keep giving him. I'm almost finished, evangelist. I got to keep giving him a word of promise. Oh my God, that's what he said. He said, I know you're getting ready to break up and go to pieces because it's been a long time. But Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, don't let this affect your heart. Come on, tell them, don't let this affect your heart. Now, it's all right for it to roll around in your mind, because your mind is like the weather, it's always changing. Y'all not saying it in here. But your heart is supposed to be a stable place. For the reality of it is, we don't believe in our mind, we believe in our heart. And if you let it get to your heart, you let it get to your belief system, and it can make you change how you feel about God. Come on here. That's why the songwriter says, first of all, my heart is fixed. And then once my heart is fixed, now my mind can be made. Oh, y'all not with me here. And so it is that he says, let not your heart be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house of many mansions. If it was not so, I would have told you. He goes a victory clause of, I'm gone to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. Which means for a season, it may feel like God has left you, but he actually just went to prepare a place for you. He said, and if I don't leave you, then the comforter, all right, I'm coming out of that, will not come. And some of you are trying to hold on to God while God is trying to go to prepare something for you. And don't realize if you keep him here, he can't prepare there. All right, y'all will catch on the way home. And so he says, and if I go, I shall come again. Touch your neighbor and say, he's on his way back. And so it is. He said, you got to be patient. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, don't be so fidgety. Be patient. Come on, tell them, don't be in such a hurry. Be patient. We want it and we want it right now. And the reality of it is, you're not even ready for what you want. You want a new house and you haven't packed up your 3-bedroom apartment yet. That if God told you to move out tonight, y'all not saying it here, it'll take you 3 days to get all that stuff out of there. If you're really ready for it, act like you're ready for it. Come on here. Oh, God. We always say, I'm ready for a significant other, but you don't even take care of yourself. You don't even groom yourself on a regular basis. You only get your hair done when it's your